Well, guys, it happened again. Another fatal police shooting. This time in Richmond, Virginia, off of Interstate 95 in downtown Richmond. Officer M. Nyantaki responded to a call of a man naked on the freeway. It was 24-year-old Marcus Peters, who had a mental health crisis and ended up on I-95. He jumped out of his car naked and unarmed, running around on the interstate. Officer M. Nyantaki, as you see on his body cam, was trying to subdue him. He used a taser, which was unsuccessful. Because the taser was unsuccessful, he went to his firearm, his service weapon, and used deadly force. With 2 shots, 24-year-old Marcus Peters' life was extinguished. Naked and afraid. Now, I'm going to post a link to the whole story. You can go read it below in the description box. It has response from the family. I believe it also has the body cam footage video there. I'm also going to post a link to a site called Police Test, where it's going to give you the use of force continuum, which I'm going to go through here also. But you can go read the whole use of force continuum there, the summary paragraphs, what they say on each one, in the description box below this video. Now, I understand here that I'm going to be armchair quarterbacking, sort of. I wasn't out there. I didn't feel the adrenaline rush and the fear, the heart racing that Officer Nyantaki probably felt, but I'm going to comment on that. What I'm going to do here is just give you a brief synopsis. I'm going to give you some quotes from the chief and talk a little bit about use of force continuum. Now, I told you what happened. Chief Durham's response was, when incidents like this happen, he went on to say, folks want to beat us up over it. It hurts. It hurts the morale of my officer. It hurts me. Well, yeah, they're going to beat you up over shooting an unarmed, naked man running around on the freeway. I understand that he was charging at Officer Nyantaki. You see that in the body cam footage. I understand that he was threatening him. I'm going to comment on that. Now, again, I'm just armchair quarterbacking, I understand, but you got to understand, I do have education in police powers and use of force continuum. I was trained in that, and I just didn't sit in a classroom. We actually trained outside on it when I went through the police academy in Texas, T-Close. I can speak on this with some education. Now, Chief Durham goes on to say, we want a fair and thorough investigation. Do not pass judgment. And then he said, if you do, shame on you. And then he goes on to say, being naked does not remove a threat. Well, you know what? I'm going to pass judgment, Chief. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you want a fair and thorough justification, but you're not going to get it in this video. Now, the use of force continuum, I'm going to go through really quick. I'm trying to be brief. I don't want to be boring for you guys. I do recommend you go watch the video. Do recommend you go read the story. In the description box below is the link. Just a reminder, some footage in that video may be disturbing to some viewers. Just a warning. So, but the use of force continuum, you first have officer presence. Officer presence. That's the officer showing up in uniform. Yeah, I know that's a cop. Yeah, you know, and you should, I mean, people say, well, I don't have to show police respect. But you should know that if you're committing a crime and you see a guy with a badge and his uniform walk up, you probably should stop. Okay, I'm not talking about law-abiding citizens walking down the street. I'm talking about somebody that's committing a crime. You look up, you see a cop there. Use of force is, the first one is officer presence. Oh, crap, a cop. Nah, I got caught, you know, or whatever. The next level of the continuum is verbal commands. That's stop, hands up, get on the ground, get on your knees. Okay, hands behind your head. Things of that nature. But the police, you also, law enforcement officers, you have to understand not everybody can obey your verbal commands. If somebody's disabled because they have a smashed kneecap and you're saying, get on your knees, they may not be able to. If they got their hands up or their hands behind their back and they're saying, I can't get on my knees, I'm handicapped, walk up to them. It's all right. Or have them walk back to you. Okay, walk back to me then. Don't do like that guy in Arizona and slam them on the ground because they're disabled. They can't obey you. Sorry, I get off my soapbox. Moving on, though, verbal commands, you know what those are. Empty hand control. Now, empty hand control is, you know, just using hand controls. I am trained also in Aikido, and so I know how to grab the palm of the hand and twist, or the back of the hand with my thumb and twist the hand and bring the arm back. I'm holding my phone and my mic, or I would do it for you here now. But there are ways to use hand controls where you can control people to do what you want. It's a martial arts technique. It's very effective if done right. Aikido is great. I recommend every law enforcement officer out there at least train in Aikido. If you don't train in some other martial arts discipline, at least go find you an Aikido sensei and learn that. It's going to help you with your empty hand control. And to remember, yin and yang, everything is a circle when you're using empty hand control. Then he goes on to pepper spray, baton, and taser. Well, Officer Nyantaki used the taser. Yeah. What happened to his baton? What happened to his pepper spray? Now, I know just about every officer I know has pepper spray. Did he say, well, I don't want pepper spray, I just want a taser, I want to be a badass? I don't know, I'm being facetious. But what happened to pepper spray? Could he not pepper spray the naked man? Could he not baton his hand or his arm as he's reaching out? Could he not baton his knee or his leg? Didn't make him go down in the grass? No, the taser didn't work. Let me just jump to deadly force and shoot him. Again, I'm armchair quarterbacking, but he only used the taser and the gun. No baton, no pepper spray. Where were those? And we're taking this apart. I could be wrong. I want your guys' comments on this. I'm opening up conversation to this. I'm not always right, but I'm just giving options here. I'm giving ideas on what could have happened and what did not happen. But you don't go to deadly force after pepper spray, baton, and taser. You go to less lethal. Less lethal is where you just get them on the ground and you hold them back, and then till you can get them handcuffed. That's called less lethal. It means you don't have to kill them. And then, of course, deadly force. And I understand that sometimes you have officer presence, verbal commands, and then you have deadly force. I understand that. If a guy points a gun at you and pulls the hammer back, cops have to go home to their wife and kids. I know that we don't want police killing people, but if you got a stupid idiot, somebody that pulls a gun on a cop and pulls the hammer back, he's stupid. It's not the cop's fault that he's stupid. But here we have a naked, unarmed man that was shot, and it was fatal. And I just believe that in the pepper spray, baton, and taser level of use of force, only one of those was used. I don't know where the baton was, where the pepper spray was. Again, maybe Officer Nyantaki was afraid. Maybe he was fearing for his life. But again, he's in the wrong occupation if his emotions and his afraidness and his human frailty overshadows that of his training of the use of force continuum. It's a discipline. You have to remember, we got use of force. We got use of force. We've got to use it. If you're afraid like that, then you're in the wrong occupation. You probably should go find another job. Okay, before you kill somebody else. I'm sorry to say that. I know it might be cruel to some people, but look, man, it's not an easy job to do, but it's definitely not an emotional job. It's not one where you can use emotions. It's one where you have to, almost like Spock. You just have to say, well, Captain, we're going to now go from verbal commands to pepper spray. You know what I mean? So I want to know how you guys feel about that. You agree with me? You disagree? Be mature. Okay, childish comments, I'm going to put you in the corner. Okay, I'm going to break your pinky finger. News Now Ukaipa, getting your guys' opinions on everything. And gals too, and chickies, and girls, and women, and ladies. There you go.